Hello guys and welcome back to another charity shop book haul. My name is Daniela. I have been going around charity shops collecting as many books from my TBR list as I possibly can. So I'm just going to jump straight in and show you everything that we managed to pick up on our trips. So the first book that we picked up was The One by John Mars. This is a thriller. I've heard good things about this. I've heard it's really good. It cost me £1 and it says one simple mouth swab is all it takes. A quick DNA test to find your perfect partner, the one you're genetically made for. A decade after scientists discover everyone has a gene they share with just one other person, millions have taken the test, desperate to find true love. Now 5 more people meet their match, but even soulmates have secrets, and some are more shocking and deadlier than others. I love that on the inside of this book, the back of the cover says match your DNA, and it has like a fake website of this dating app. Next up, I managed to find a book that I've been keeping an eye out for since starting this, and that is The Night Circus. I finally found it in a charity shop. I almost missed it. It was on top of the shelf, like on top of a bunch of other books, and I almost missed it, and I just spotted it. £2. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I read the Caraval series before this because I've heard that there are similarities, and I think this one was done first, but because Caraval was a trilogy, I wanted to read the trilogy. So I've read Caraval first. I'm hoping I will still enjoy this, because I know I've seen people say that if they read this first, they didn't enjoy the Caraval series. So I'm still going to read this. I hope it's really good, and I just love the cover. I love it. So I'm really glad that I managed to pick up a copy of that. Next up, I managed to find The Beating of His Wings. This is the final volume in the Left Hand of God trilogy. I picked up 1 and 2 ages ago in one of the charity shops near us, and I've been looking for this for ages, and I finally found it in a little used bookshop, and I paid £1.50, so I'm really happy with that. Now I have a full series that I can read. We spotted another copy of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and I just thought the cover was so cool on this. I couldn't not pick it up. So we now have 2 copies of Neverwhere. I think I prefer this one just because it's like embossed and like it's got the matte and then the gloss embossing, and it just looks great. And this was £1.50. Next up, we visited some charity shops in Otley, and the next few books I'm going to show you came from, there was a shop where all the books were 50p and they had quite a lot of books in. So I managed to pick up Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks for 50p. Just this lovely hardback edition. I've seen this book several times and I've not bothered to pick it up, but I just thought it's a very nice hardback edition. For 50p, you can't go wrong. And this is just a bunch of short stories that Tom Hanks wrote. So yeah, I think that'll be nice, just like every now and then if you're in a bit of a slump, just like pick up a short story. I like having a variety of lengths of stuff to read. If I'm a bit overwhelmed, if I've been reading like big series, I like to fit in something like small in between, so the odd short story here and there I find helps you like keep moving. So very happy with that. I found this in, we have a free bookshop in town, and I found this in the free bookshop. So this didn't cost me anything, which is insane. I wanted to read, there's 2 Blake Crouch books that I wanted. I bought one of them off someone on Facebook, and that one was Dark Matter, and then I managed to find Recursion, which is also by Blake Crouch, and yes, these are the 2 books I wanted to read. I watch Katie Colson on YouTube, and she's made me really want to read both of these books. I'm pretty sure it was her. They're both thrillers. This one says, at first it looks like a disease, an epidemic that spreads through no known means, driving its victims mad with memories of a life they never lived. But the force that's sweeping the world is no pathogen. It's just the first shockwave unleashed by a stunning discovery, and what's in jeopardy is not just our minds. In New York City, Detective Barry Sutton is closing in on the truth, and in a remote laboratory, neuroscientist Helena Smith is unaware that she alone holds the key to this mystery and the tools for fighting back. Together, Barry and Helena will have to confront their enemy before they and the world are trapped in a loop of ever-growing chaos. Next up, I found a couple of books in one of our local bookshops in the marketplace, and so I picked up, I'm really annoyed, I could have had this whole set if I'd picked up book 2 and 3 in another shop, and I never picked them up. They were there for ages as well, and then eventually I've decided I do actually want to read these books, and by the time I decided that, they had gone. I'm pretty sure this one is the first in the series, and it's Three Dark Crowns by Ken Blake. It says, in every generation on the island of Fenburn, a set of triplets is born. 3 queens, all equal heirs to the crown, all possessed of a coveted magic. Mirabella, a fierce elemental, can spark hungry flames with the click of a finger. Catherine, a poisoner, is known to be resistant to the deadliest of snake bites. Arsino, a naturalist, is rumoured to have the ability to bloom the reddest of roses, but becoming the queen crowned is not just a matter of royal birth. These 3 sisters must fight to the death for the throne, and on the night they turn 16, the battle begins. Only one queen can inherit the crown. Whose side are you on? And then I found the volume 1 of the Book of Dust. I picked up a very nice hardback of volume 2 of this, so yeah, when I saw volume 1, picked that up, and I think these were both £2 each, if I remember correctly. I just realised I completely moved on from the bookshop in Otley after I showed you Tom Hanks, so let's revert back to that. From the Otley bookshop where everything was 50p, we got the Tom Hanks book, and we also I picked up The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. I haven't heard of this book, so it looks like this is the next one she did after The Host, and I just like the sound of it. So this is about a character who used to work for the US government, but they decided at some point that she was a liability, and so they sent people after her to try and get rid of her. So now she's like constantly on the run from the US government, and then it says her former handler offers her a way out. She realises it's her only chance to erase the giant target on her back, but it means taking one last job. To her horror, the information she acquires makes her situation more dangerous. Preparing for the toughest fight of her life, she finds herself falling for a man who can only complicate her likelihood of survival. With her choices dwindling, she must apply her unique talents in ways she never dreamed of. So this is like an ex-employee on the run, but it sounds like it also has a romance in it. It sounded different to anything else I've picked up, and so I just thought I would try that. Same shop, 50p. Waterfall by Lauren Kate. So this is the author who wrote the Fallen series. This is book 2 in another saga she's done called the Teardrop Saga, and it's in very good condition, very nice hardback. I've not heard of it. It interested me. I thought I'd pick it up. Again, I think this is another romance. I just need to find book 1 of this now, which I think is probably going to be difficult because I've never even heard of it. Next up, same shop, 50p. I liked the sound of this, and again, the cover drew me in. Another hardback, this one's called Wool by Hugh Howey. It says, if the lies don't kill you, the truth will. This sounded really interesting. It says, what would you do if the world outside was deadly and the air you breathed could kill, and you lived in a place where every birth required a death, and the choices you made could save lives or destroy them? This is Jules' story. This is the world of Wool. So on the inside it says, in a ruined and hostile landscape in a future few have been unlucky enough to survive, a community exists in a giant underground silo. Inside, men and women live an enclosed life full of rules and regulations, of secrets and lies. To live they must follow the rules, but some people don't. These are the people who dare to hope and dream, and who infect others with their optimism. Their punishment is simple and deadly. They are allowed outside. Jules is one of these people. She may well be the last. I read the first page in this book because I was like, and the first page literally starts with someone walking up the silo steps and describing things on his way up. So he's basically saying he's on his way to die, and he can hear children laughing, as children do, and he's describing all this. It's very descriptive. It was very interesting. It gripped me straight away, so I was like, yes, I'm having that. Next one. I am a bit gobsmacked that I found this, to be honest. Same bookshop, 50p. A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas, hardback edition with the original print cover. I can't believe it, 50p in a charity shop, and it's a first edition. This was like my pick of the day, I think. So moving on from that store, I think I found this in a charity shop in Shipley. This is War by Laura Falasa. £2.50 I paid for this, and yeah, just a nice paperback edition, and it's book 2 in the Four Horsemen series. I've read the first in the series, I haven't read any of the others. Next up, another find I was very happy with, because I found book 1 in this series, and now I have found Mistborn book 3, The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. So I just need to find book 2 of this. This one was £2.50. I feel like the difficult part now will be finding the second book in this series. Next up, we went into an Oxfam bookshop and I found several great things. I've been keeping an eye out for Frederick Backman books recently because, once again, Katie Colson really likes Frederick Backman and I wanted to read some of his books. I managed to find these in the Oxfam bookshop, so I was super happy when I found them. So one is My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies. And this says, to most people, 7-year-old Elsa's granny is eccentric, if not crazy. To Elsa, she's a superhero, one with a superpower like no other, storytelling. When Granny leaves Elsa a mysterious series of letters apologising to those she has wronged, her stories come to life in ways Elsa could never have imagined, sending her on a breathtaking adventure of her own. And then I also managed to find A Man Called Ovi, which is also apparently extremely good, and I can't wait to read this. This one says, Ovi is almost certainly the grumpiest man you will ever meet. He thinks himself surrounded by idiots, joggers, neighbours who can't reverse a trailer properly, and shop assistants who talk in code. But isn't it rare these days to find such old-fashioned clarity of belief and deed, such unswerving conviction about what the world should be, and a lifelong dedication to making it just so? In the end, you will see there is something about Ovi that is quite irresistible. Got a nice little Frederick Backman collection going on there now. They both cost £2.50 each. And then also in Oxfam Bookshop, I picked up Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is also £2.50. This is the first in the Red Queen series. I don't know much about this, I just know it's one of those popular series. So I had already started collecting it. I have Warstorm, which is book 4, and I have 4.5 because I didn't realise it was 4.5. But yes, now I've got book 1. And in a separate charity shop, I also managed to pick up Glass Sword for £2, which I'm pretty sure is the second in the series. So I think I just need book 3 now, and I'll have all of that as well. Back to the Oxfam Bookshop, I also picked up One by One by Ruth Ware. This one was £2.50. Again, nice hardback. This one says, a luxury chalet, an opportunity of a lifetime until guests start to disappear. So this is a thriller and it's set in an alpine ski resort. And basically a bunch of board members have all gone to this ski resort, and there is an avalanche and they end up stuck in the resort, and one of the board members goes missing. So the group are basically trying to decide, could one of them have murdered this person to benefit? I've got a few Ruth Ware books now. I've read one of them so far, but I enjoyed it, so I am looking forward to reading the others that I've managed to pick up. Next up, Andy managed to find The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. This story is one of false hopes, thwarted desires and broken dreams. Out of their suffering, Steinbeck created a drama that is utterly human but truly epic in its scale and scope, an astonishing and moving tribute to the endurance and dignity of the human spirit. He also picked up To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, another Pulitzer Prize winner. I'm assuming they would have been 50p or a pound. And then I also picked up Neil Gaiman, Fragile Things, which is just some short stories by Neil Gaiman. So just another set of things to flick through if you're wanting a quick read. Another one that Andy managed to find is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, and we paid £2 for this. And then Andy has been looking for a copy of The Ocean at the End of the Lane. He borrowed it from the library, but he wanted a physical copy, and also I would like to read this book. But this was £2. He almost missed this. I went rooting through, do you know when they have like those stands that you normally see cards on in charity shops? They put books on them, and they're really awkward to look through because they're all stacked and they're double stacked, so you can't see the spines of the ones on the right. And I went rooting, and he'd already looked through it and he missed it, and I managed to find this. So we have a copy. This is a series that Andy is collecting. It is the First Law series, and this is book 1, and it is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. So we've got The Blade Itself and we've got The Last Argument of Kings, so I'm not sure which one that is, but we need one more, I think, for this to be complete. And I can't remember how much we paid for this, but it was probably under £2. The final 2 books are 2 good ones. We managed to pick up an arc of The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. So this is a proof, and it was in a charity shop for £1. This is the first in a new fantasy series, and it says, the fates of 2 women on opposite sides of a revolution will become irrevocably tied in C.L. Clarke's debut fantasy, an unmissable epic of uprising, espionage and empire, set in a desert kingdom inspired by North Africa. And then the last book that we managed to find is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I've already ordered I think think it's the Illumicrate special edition, but Andy likes to read paperbacks, so we picked up the paperback and we got this really nice edition. So very happy with that, and that cost us £1.50. And that is it. That is all of the books that we managed to pick up. If you enjoyed that video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time.